father built more and better roads, produced more rice than all administrations before his. President Robredo Duterte built more and better than all the administrations succeeding my father's. Much has been built, and so well, that the economic dogma of dispersing industry to develop the least likely places has been upturned. Development was brought to them. Investors are now setting up industries along the promising routes built. And yet, the potential of this country is not exhausted. Following these giant steps, we will continue to build. I will complete on schedule the projects that have been started. I'm not interested in taking credit. I want to build on success that's already happening. We will be presenting the public with a comprehensive infrastructure plan. 6 years could be just about enough time. No part of our country will be neglected. Progress will be made wherever there are Filipinos, so no investment is wasted.
The News Day continues here on One News Now. I'm Charles Lejano. Political analysts noticed some peculiarities in the first ever speech of Ferdinand Marcos Jr. as President of the Philippines. Marian Enriquez tells us more.
Hundreds of local and foreign dignitaries attended President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr.'s oath-taking, including Australian Governor-General David Hurley, U.S. Second Gentleman Douglas Emhoff, Chinese Vice President Wang Qishan, and Vietnamese Vice President Vo Tin Anh Chuan. After the inauguration, the traditional Von d'honneur was held at the old session hall of the National Museum. This serves as the official toast.
May God bless you, Mr. President. Mabuhay. 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 Mabuhay.
And to toast to the strengthening of our continuing relationships between the Philippines and your country.
But apart from the toasts, the real focus of the day was on Marcos Jr.'s first words as president. According to columnist and policy advisor Professor Richard Hidarian, there were no surprises in his speech as it centered mainly on public issues like food security.
He sticks within a certain decorum, within a certain script, at the same time, may pagka-nostalgist din siya, no? The way he talks, katulad ng tatay na, di ba?
For Professor Antonio Contreras, his speech was his response to critics after skipping election debates.
Parang ginastify niya rin yung kung bakit hindi siya umata. Kasi hindi siya nagsalita masyado, nakikinig siya.
Attorney Edwin Lacerda, former spokesperson of President Noynoy Aquino, meanwhile commended Marcos Jr.'s speech but noted he has set the bar high.
Maganda yung pagkalatag ng speech niya, well written. It touched on almost all the topics that he intended to do in his 6 years. Medyo high bar, mataas ang standard that he imposed on himself, no? Ang unang concern niya, economic recovery. Sinabi niya na gaganda ang ekonomiya natin. Ang laking problema natin ngayon sa economy, primarily because we're coming from a pandemic, there's an expectation of a global recession. May away sa Ukraine, which he mentioned, by the way. And so maraming bagay sa economy na maapektuhan.
But what's noticeable for him is how PBBM made no mention of the fight against corruption.
I think in each inaugural speech, hindi nawawala ang paglaban sa corruption. Here, it was very, very clear na parang, absent si corruption sa pag-uusap.
It's all eyes on how Marcos Jr. and his administration will be able to address all of these issues in the next 6 years. For News 5, Marian Enriquez, we are One News.
Former President Rodrigo Duterte is calling on the Filipino people to support the administration of President Bongbong Marcos. In a video statement shared by former acting spokesperson Martin Andanar, Duterte was asked for a message to the people as he stepped down from office. Duterte also didn't miss this chance to praise his cabinet members, who likewise stepped down from their posts to give way to the new cabinet yesterday.
I am a student of government. Alam mo, matagal ako sa gobyerno. I think I assembled one of the best cabinet. Let us give all our support to the new administration. Tulungan natin sila. Tulungan natin sila.
We'll be back with more stories after a quick break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Charles Lejano. Former President Rodrigo Duterte says now that he's a private citizen, his first order of business is to get some quality sleep. But Duterte said he is still open to helping the country should the need arise. Gemma Vansenia reports.
Many Davaoeños have waited for the arrival of former President Rodrigo Duterte at the Davao International Airport on Thursday, hours after he stepped down as chief executive. Riding on a commercial flight from Philippine Airlines, the former president arrived in Davao at 6:57 in the evening. It took a while before he got out from the arrival area, as he was greeted by people who want to take pictures with him. Duterte was accompanied by his longtime aide, Senator Bongo. For the 77-year-old former president, the most important part of his retirement is to get not as much rest as he wants.
Kauwi ako and I can rest. Alam mo, baka totoo ito sa lahat ng presidente. We get only about 5 to 6. 5 average because of volume sa trabaho, sa papel. So, makatulog na ako. I can sleep 8 hours without worrying that I have to stand up.
But Duterte said he is still willing to help should the country need him.
Basta yung mga crucial sa ating bayan, I'll be there to add to my whatever narratives or taking aside, espouse one kung ano mang dating sa ating buhay.
From the airport, Duterte then proceeded to the Victoria Plaza where a Thanksgiving concert was held for him. This is where the Davaoenos honored him as the pride of Davao City, who is now known as Citizen Rodi, Tatay Rodi, or Mayor Rodi. Recall that on Thursday morning, Duterte met with his cabinet members in Malacanang for their last official day in office. Duterte thanked his cabinet for their service to the nation.
I think I am a student of government. Alam mo, matagal ako sa gobyerno. I think I assembled one of the best cabinet.
After his quick meeting with his successor Ferdinand Marcos Jr., his signing at the palace guestbook, his descent to the palace grand staircase, and all of the traditions of passing the baton, Duterte then headed to a mall in Makati to buy a watch without much fanfare. For News 5, Jem Avancenia, we are One News.
Meanwhile, after serving 9 years in government, former Vice President Leni Robredo will be launching the Angat Buhay NGO. In a Facebook post, Robredo shared that she signed a memorandum of agreement with the Rotary Club of Makati, the Southern Luzon State University, and the provincial government of Quezon for the construction of a dormitory where indigents can stay for free. Previously, Robredo also said that she will return to Saligan and practice law. And those are the top stories at this hour. Join us again later at 11 a.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com so you can stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Charles Lejano. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.